Good evening. My name is Dan Dumas, and this is the Clarity Channel. I want to challenge you tonight in our brief time about what it means to be all in. This past Sunday, I had the privilege of teaching Mark 14, 1 to 11. We have been making our way through the biography of Jesus as written by Mark for a better part of a year now. We've reached the section which captures really the abandonment of Jesus, the betrayal, the arrest, the crucifixion, and the subsequent resurrection. So it's the high point in Mark's gospel. And this section is kicked off by an incident where the 12 apostles are sitting around a table. They're in Simon the leper's home, having an appreciation dinner for Simon's healing. We know that that's the occasion because no leper would be hosting guests if he had present leprosy. And they're all leaning into the center and eating. And in walks Mary, which is captured in John chapter 12. In walks Mary. And she has in her hand this alabaster flask of pure nard from India, probably a family heirloom. It would be customary during Passover week. This is Wednesday of Passover week or Passion week. The word passion is suffering. It'd be customary to give a drop or two to change the smell of the room as there's celebration going on, as they sacrifice an unblemished lamb, celebrate the Feast of Unleavened Bread and all the festivities around. It'd be customary to do one or two drops to change the complexity and the fauna and the flora of the room. But in this occasion, Mary snaps the glass-like container, flask, snaps the flask, and pours it over. Bull is getting ready to tap the matador. Right? Did this perfume, and then they go in this altruistic attempt to point out where she has gone wrong. They said, you could have helped the poor. That is worth 300 denarii. And if you've been tracking with us in Mark 6, you'd know that 200 denarii in Mark 6:37, as they were doing the math, the disciples said could feed roughly 5,000. So you're talking 7,000 to 10,000 you could feed with 300 denarii. That's what this gift was worth. And they said, you wasted it by pouring it on Jesus. Well, of course, Jesus comes to her defense and says, no, it wasn't a waste. It was actually a beautiful gift. Why? Because it reflected Mary's extraordinary devotion. She was all in. She didn't snap the top off and put a couple drops in the room and just give them a portion or 10%, right? She was all in. It is a reminder to us of our need for extraordinary devotion. You see, Mary was the first woman to truly see what was about to take place. She could see, she had eyes to see his death and his burial and his resurrection. She knew the events of the week with the Passover. There wouldn't be any time. And so she's going to anoint Jesus. As a matter of fact, she goes so far as to stoop down and literally, as the oil drips down and hits his feet, she wipes his feet with her hair. She cleans and washes his feet and rubs in the oil into his feet with her hair, which is her symbol of honor and beauty. I'm telling you, Mary was all in. And Mark writes this down in Mark 14. Look at it, 1 to 11, to remind us of extraordinary devotion, right? And in juxtaposition of this, you have this extraordinary disloyalty. Right after this, you have Judas Iscariot selling out Jesus, spent 3.5 years with him, not devoted, heart's not in it, doesn't know Christ, doesn't see, doesn't have eyes to see. Mary does, and she's all in. And listen, folks, that's the expectation. Half-hearted devotion, half-hearted worship, unacceptable. Romans 12, 1 and 2 says that we're to be living sacrifices. You know what the problem with the living sacrifices? They're always trying to crawl off the altar. I'm here to remind you through Mark 14 and Romans 12 that you are to be all in, that you are to be a living sacrifice. That's my challenge to you this Monday night. This is the Clarity Channel. Be clear, be understanding, have eyes to see. May the Lord bless you this week and your family.